Welcome to the program. The National Hospital Insurance Fund is now seeking to educate the informal sector on the benefits of the medical scheme NHIF, which is initially covered only inpatient cases, revised rates upwards to enable it to offer additional benefits that now include outpatient services. The new charges also present the case for covering all diseases, including chronic ones, without any discrimination, a move that cushions contributors against the vicious cycle of medical cost inflation, further easing the burden of medication, which currently constitutes about 35% out-of-pocket household expenditure.
Being a social health insurance, we are a key social pillar, and we are looking going forward that we should indeed enlist all Kenyans and educate them that it is important to have some mode of insurance, and the government has laid down mechanism through NHIF to provide the social health insurance. Because the target is to have all Kenyans on board. Yeah, so we are strictly focusing on the informal sector. Formal sector, we are good. We have everybody on board. But the informal sector, and you know, in Kenya, formal sector is a bit larger. So we are looking to have all those people on board. And that's why we're looking at passing information and more information to them. Because indeed, a critical component is public education for them to know that indeed they are entitled to a social health insurance through a contributory scheme. And it's a family cover, that it's a member plus dependents. Principal member, spouse where applicable, plus eligible dependents.
Now, the government has revoked KTN's ownership of 3,000 acres of land at the controversial Mya Ranch in Naivasha. This was announced by Interior CS Joseph Nkaiseri when he visited the area following recent chaos where residents accused the power generating company of illegally acquiring the land. Murimi Mwangi now reports.
Barely 3 days after over 1,000 residents of Mya area in Naivasha raised 7 houses belonging to a land buying company over claims of fraudulently selling their over 3,000 acres of land to power generating company KTN. Interior CS Joseph Nkaiseri visited the area and announced the immediate revocation of the 3,093 acres of land which the power generating company had earmarked for a mega geothermal power project.
Itakuwa nullified kwa sababu members hawakukaa chini na kusema wanauza shamba yao. Si ni kweli? Sasa KTN na hiyo wakurugenzi wapambane huko, lakini hapana kwa hapa.
Kama wanataka kununua shamba, wangoje hawa wananchi wenye shamba washauriane, wafanye uchaguzi, wakishachagua afisi yao waje wanene wajue watauziwa shamba na nani.
Area leaders who had accompanied the Interior CS accused senior government officials of benefiting from the fraudulent transfer of the land which initially belonged to Ngati Farmers Cooperative Society, whose membership has over the years risen to over 800 members.
Hiyo wakubwa sio wakubwa kidogo. Mtu yule yote amekuwa DC hapa, ako na shamba hapa. Yule amekuwa mkubwa ya polisi, ako na shamba hapa. Na ndio kwa maana umesikia hii watu saa hii shida yao kubwa sana ni kushikwa na askari. Kwa sababu hawa askari wameshikana na hiyo madirector ndio wakandamiza hiyo watu.
Lakini hapana kwa hapa, hapana kwa Ngati. Nilipiga jana hisabu na nikastuka sana. 8417, 8427. Alafu wanaweka mfuko watu 5, 256 million.
KTN acquired the land 2 years ago, but the 1 month of violence over its ownership has put the project in disarray. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, campaigns for the Kericho senatorial by-election have entered their home stretch, marked by fierce campaigns between the two top political contenders, KANU's Paul Sang and Aaron Cheriot of JAP. The KANU camp is accusing their Jubilee counterparts of imposing the 30-year-old Cheriot on the voters, while the Jubilee leaders are now accusing the Independence Party, KANU, of using the Kericho campaigns to mount roadblocks on the political career of Deputy President William Ruto. Murimi Mwangi returns with that report from Kericho.
With less than a week to the hotly contested Kericho senatorial by-election, the Jubilee and KANU brigades are engrossed.
We apologize, we don't have that complete report now, but we'll be recapping it a bit later. Now campaigns have hit fever pitch in Malindi just a week ahead of the parliamentary by-election. Both the CORD and the Jubilee coalitions went out on a vote-hunting mission, with each camp exuding confidence of carrying the day come March the 7th, the date set for the by-election.
With just 6 days before residents of Malindi head to the polls, politicians are busy working tirelessly to cover every corner of the vast constituency in efforts to drum up support for their respective candidates. The CORD camp spearheading its campaign for ODM candidate William Tengo and campaigning with a message of restoring grabbed land in the region to its rightful owners.
Tangu 1963 ni wale wabadilisha fulana, majina ni wale, watu ni hao wanaotoka ni kule. Let me tell you, ni wale hawabadiliki. Matakwa yao na mambo yao ni yale. Ni yale. Waje hapa, watu wadae, tukizubaa wampita na mashamba yetu.
Tunajua wazi kuna mbinu ambazo zimewekwa za kuiba kura. Manake wanajua wazi kwamba chuma.
The Jubilee side fielding Philip Charo as its preferred candidate, lashing out at the opposition for spreading propaganda against their camp in a bid to woo more voters.
Ile group nyingine kazi yao ya ishinamiti shamba na waganga. Sisi hapa na nyinyi kwa Mungu.
Watu wa hapa Pishimwenga na watu wa Langobaya kwa jumla, watu wa Nyilore, wote wanasema wataka kupiga kura na kiongozi wao pia apige kura. Sasa nafikiri ule upande mwingine hawana kura ya kupiga ile siku ambayo ni ya kupiga kura. Kwa hiyo sisi tunataka kiongozi ambaye ni wa kusema na kutenda.
The by-elections, which will run concurrently with yet another for the senatorial seat in Kericho, is anticipated to provide good testing ground on the strength of the two coalitions ahead of the 2017 general elections. The Malindi parliamentary seat fell vacant after President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed then Member of Parliament Dan Kazungu to the cabinet as the CS for mining in November last year. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Now, wanton encroachment of the sandy beaches of Diani by private developers and hotels is now raising concerns among stakeholders in the tourism sector. A fresh row has erupted between a group of fishermen and a foreign investor based at Mbureni area in Ukunda over a controversial piece of land in the area. The fishermen claim the investor acquired the piece of land illegally and are petitioning for a revocation of his land documents. However, the investor has, on the other hand, accused the fishermen of encroaching into his land and now setting a hotel close to the shores of the sea, blocking access to the waters. 3 times in a row, Diani has been voted Africa's best beach destination.
Hatuna mtetezi ambaye anatufuatilia bandari yetu, manake na makao ya mtu mzungu alijenga hapo. Na hii ripoti haikujificha. Kama mimi Hemedi Mohamed niliripoti, kuna waheshimiwa kadhaa niwaelezea. Kwanza ripoti yangu mimi, mheshimiwa si wazuri anayo.
Most of the hotels, let me tell you, most of the beach hotels have encroached the shorelines. They have gone past the riparian zones. This is information in the hands of the National Land Commission. It's something that needs to be addressed. But you and me know the challenges which are there to address this.
Other people have built walls. No, that is, I think, more of the concern. They have even billboards wamejenga za wall kwa beach, but nobody goes to them, nobody asks them.
A Nyeri blogger has been remanded for 7 days in connection with comments posted online that have allegedly rubbed local politicians the wrong way. 23-year-old Martha Wanjiru Miano was arrested on Monday in Karatina after the matter was reported to the police by some county officials and immediately taken to court, after which she was remanded. The incident has elicited harsh reactions from some who see it as the harassment of a blogger who took on political bigwigs.
Let it get very clear to them, whoever is behind this. Today, it could be Miano. Tomorrow, it will be your mother. And these other young men and women, they cannot be intimidated. A time comes when it must get very clear. Kenya is not a police state.
Miss Miano is a blogger who does a lot of Facebooking, a lot of WhatsApping. And yesterday, she was arrested. She was arraigned in court yesterday. She has not been formally charged. The police saw an affidavit that they want to retain her to investigate her for some criminal matters, and they sought court's permission to detain her for about 7 days.
If an offense has occurred, the due process in law should be followed, the procedures should be followed, and justice should be seen.